massive here. So Ground Zero have locked that in immediately, but I feel like, you know, there's a reason they haven't banned that out. I think Kanga might have been strategizing around this a little bit to try and play into a bit of counterplay here.
That is so true. We do see the Punisher that Daxu is currently hovering. Whether or not they actually come out with it, of course, they can switch it and bait and switch us casters at the last second. But there is a Punisher being hovered, so that could take down the Ultron from the sky. Zensari, we saw them a lot on Groot yesterday, and they looked absolutely amazing on Groot. Whether or not they decide to go through with Groot today, we'll have to see. But they also, I'm sure, have to be aware of that Kanga Esports could also be running Ultron and may need something to counter the flying meta.
That's right, have to be very careful on that one. We'll see if they are going to face the rage of Ultron. Skittle's going to be on the rocket as well. Chronic's on the torch. Definitely love to see Chronic's playing these flying characters. You know, they've showed a lot of prominence on Storm, and I reckon they might be able to find a bit more on a torch here as well, as they already try and spell a bit of trouble. Damaging down from afar here, but Ground Zero are already on top of the mission area. And Kanga Esports just holding from a distance until the unlock comes through in 5 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be a battle a bit off point here, but a lot of damage being dealt. Zenstar getting extremely low will be the first. Oh, Texi, sorry, is the one that falls instead. One Groot is down. Missionary has been captured by Ground Zero, who are now pushing up against Kanga Esports. Kanga Esports have to fall back to regroup. They've lost one of their vanguards. Now they've lost a second, as Donald has fallen. Remember, Donald was absolutely amazing to watch on Magneto, which has been banned out, and now on the Emma Frost.
Yeah, great to see that there's alternatives in the Vanguard department there, and I really enjoy how both teams are playing around the Groot here. Considering the tight angles they have around this map, it doesn't surprise me at all. They can isolate the fights here really effectively and just try and trickle through that damage onto their opponents. Like, look at FMCL right now. They have a laser point, but here comes the Rage of Ultron, where I see it's time to pump out the damage. Combining with their teammates there. They annihilate Kanga out of that one. Oh my word. The Eternal Bond not finding the value it needed there, and those KOs are just pushing Ground Zero one step up.
I was going to mention the Eternal Bond coming out from Skittles there. But I think it was a little too late. Most of the team, most of the players of Kanga Esports had fallen down already. The Eternal Bond was just sitting on the ground with not much use out of it. But look at the ultimates still that Ground Zero have. There are still 4 ultimates available. And out comes the Emma Frost and Human Torch ultimate. And in return, out comes the fate of both worlds, as well as a Groot and Daxu. Ready to do lots of damage with Punisher, taking out one, going for more. And now Donald using their Emma Frost ultimate. So much damage coming from both, but 90% on the point in favor of Ground Zero. Ganzo still holding it, about to go to overtime. Kanga Esports, remember, they take so many of Ground Zero out, flipping the point at the last second. Well, 96%.
Yeah, great usage of the last stand there from Chronix. It really allowed them to trickle through a lot of those last KOs to really just amount to their presence on through the capture point here. So great to see that they can swing the tide back in their favor, and with neither side having ultimates active, it's just going to be raw firepower trickling into this one. Kanga are going to have to make a lot of effort to try and hold it down for a while now, because it's a long road ahead to build up that percentage, but the walls are already coming up. They're fighting it out, and here we go. Eternal Bond coming out, Rage of Ultron as well. We're online right now, Ricey, but no one's going down until now.
Well, Dupe does get taken out just as you said that. I think Daxter wanted to jinx you. Ground Zero not able to take the point just yet and claim this round, as Kanga Esports are holding it down as best as I can. Daxter getting another pick onto 6, and now FMCL, Chronix, managing to snipe that pick. 2 missing from Ground Zero. They have to regroup. 61% though, they have plenty of time to regroup and get back onto the point.
That they do. And important to note, Fate of Both Worlds now going to be online for Furakake there. Do have to Strangle in Prison as well. So great utility on the side of Kanga Esports. But speaking of, Strangle in Prison does come out from Taxi there. Now traded out. Sensari activating. Supernova's online. Eternal Bond. Everything is activated here. But that Fate of Both Worlds is the saving grace of Kanga right now. Psionic Seduction coming out though. Could be something to save them. Here we go. Mantis online as well. It's just all ultimates all the way around. Everybody activating, and the KOs are favoring Ground Zero in this one. They've managed to find a way in. They're going to trickle it over the top, and this could be their chance to get it over the line to 100. And that it will be. So, first point taken in the last seconds there by Ground Zero.
Ground Zero take the first round, but Kanga put up a massive fight, taking it to overtime, 99%. This could be an exciting banger of a first map leading to an entire series. Neck and neck these two teams are, but Dupe at that end, at that final fight, being able to take out two key members of Kanga Esports, bringing them that fight, bringing them the flip to get that point.
That's it. They flip the switch, and they will be able to reap the rewards, because at the end of the day, no matter how close it is, the one that takes the victory gets it to 100. That is going to find all the rewards there. So Kanga gonna have to reflect on this one, see how they can approach this second point here. Otherwise, they could be in a bit of trouble and might have to find a way to crawl out of the rubble. But we are going to be getting on one way closer to the mission area, unlocking in 30 seconds here. And I like to see a little bit of a team up activated there. Taxi, maybe thought into this one.
Yes, Taxi. Wait, which we've got also Ultimates coming through with 6 on Ultron available, and Chronix does have their ultimate, but first one is going to be a tunnel bond from Skittles, putting all their mist all over the floor on the point to try and take advantage and take the point straight away. Kanga Esports so close to capping it as best as they can, but Ground Zero are starting to get that ground back, going further, and I think Chronix even tried to kidnap someone, but will be taken out instead as Zenstar takes them out. Donald's foes, Skittles foes, despite the Eternal Bond all being used, Kanga Esports will have to give up the point. Ground Zero capping it first up.
Yeah, great presence once again coming out from Ground Zero there. Are going to be able to lock things down for a second here, and we'll see what they can manage to maneuver, as they've got the Eternal Bond online. But bearing in mind, Fate of Both Worlds available, Daxu pretty close to Final Judgment as well. It could be exactly what they need to push themselves on to the point here. Six is doing a great job of just distancing their damage through as well. We'll see if they can get a KO out of this one. Speaking of, here we go, Final Judgment online with the Strangling Prison there. Fate of Both Worlds going to be coming into the thick of it here. They are trying their best to hold on for dear life. Six got the Rage of Ultron online. And here we go. It's all favoring Ground Zero into this one. Kanga, try as they might, will not be able to get away with this fight.
They do not get away despite using so many, 2, 3 ultimates in that fight. Kanga Esports were not able to turn the tide. But looking at Ground Zero, they used 4. They do have 2 available. Human Torch and Emma Frost. Very strong ultimates. But is that going to be enough? They're both using it at the same time, and it's going to be big with Zenstar, one of the vanguards of Kanga Esports, being taken out. Dupe now taken out too as well. Kanga Esports, they are doing it. They are pushing it forward through everything, through whatever Ground Zero threw at them, and they have flipped the point in their favor.
That they have. Great stuff coming through there. We'll be able to get the point back in their favor a lot sooner this time as well. Gives Ground Zero a little bit less flexibility here, which could be great. And speaking of great, last stand online, a Strangling Prison as well. Kanga taking advantage of this one. KO's coming through one after the other there. They're trying to wall them off, but now the walls are going to be favoring Kanga here. Texi trapped. Oh my gosh. That was so dangerous. And Starry does find them though with the vines. And so they will force Kanga into a bit of a retreat here. Ground Zero starting to pack things up again.
The ground zero pushing forward through this choke point. They want to try and push through, and they are able to get through. Donald has to fall back very slightly to try and stay alive. But the grid roll stopping. Somehow does make it through, but now the grid order from Zensari comes down, taking down Donald. And Taxi also falls as well by 6. With his raining Ultron damage from the sky. Skittles falls to round 0. Take control of the point with 78%. And building up, they are looking at the last fight territory for themselves.
Last fight territory. This could be a dangerous time ahead, especially when you've got these strategist ultimates on a line. King Bob ready, Matty AF ready, and more to follow with Furikake there. But Daxu, I think, is going to be a bigger factor here. Speaking of big factors, Skittles, Eternal Bond is online right now. There we go. Final Judgment coming into this one. Daxu has to pump some damage through, get some of those KOs. Mantis, though, steals the show. But Sensari's gone down. This is actually massive. Taking down the Vanguard is going to nullify a lot of that firepower. Jupe, though, has the Psionic Seduction. This could be it. Chronix and Taxi team up and work it through. OT could be favoring Kanga right now. But Jupe's still alive, still kicking. They have to hold on to this point for dear life. Kanga are trying to steal it back in this tug of war. Somebody has to save them here. And they're taking down these players and will find it back.
They managed to cap it, but that was so close. I saw the dive coming from ground from the Wolverine to try and touch in time, and they were able to just touch to stop overtime from it being disabled. But Kanga Esports were able to flip it. The great ultimate coming through from Texas just in time as well to keep everyone away from the point, all the grounds are away from the point successfully. But this is still dangerous territory for Kanga. Us against the world is what the Kanga are thinking right now. Being at 80% to that 99%, they are pushing forward. But unfortunately, Cornix has fallen, and now King Bob though will fall for ground zero. That is one of the strategists for ground zero, but Donald gets taken out as well as back and forth. Skittles, Jackson, Furikake, they're all falling. Kanga Esports are falling in this overtime battle between ground zero and Kanga Esports. Ground zero are in control. They have the point. They are taking this round. They are taking map 1.
That they will. Oh my gosh, Ricey. Can you believe what they've managed to achieve there? Against all odds, they managed to win it. Taking it away in the fight there. A 2-0 clean victory on the first map. Kanga, they had them on the edge the whole way through, but round 0 are the heroes in map 1, and FMCL is going to be taking away that MVP. So, incredible way to kick off this series. Both teams really showcasing their strategies here. And look at that, you know, seeing Venom and the Thing come out at the end as well. Kanga were desperate. You can... Oh, there we go. Rocket, Matty AF locks it in. So we can play around the group team up on that one. Definitely excited to see how that one goes there. But I do like how they're bringing Penny into the mix, you know?
Yes.
I love to see those minds get on the point there. And as a matter of fact, with the Rocket, they can play into the web server team up as well. So they have a double the amount of eggs, you know, on the point there. And definitely excited for all the capabilities that that's going to bring. Wow, this is going to be a good one.
It is going to be a really good one with that team up with Penny and Rocket, and potentially Rocket and Groot as well. But I don't want to get baited, so we'll have to see if they do bring it out for us in the actual action. Ground Zero here are on attack. Kanga Esports are on defense. So Ground Zero can have a look at what Kanga Esports are currently playing and switch as needed. Maddie switching quickly just to give that speed boost with Jeff before switching to Cloak and Dagger. No rocket for us.
No, not meant to be today. They were teasing us with that one. They didn't want us to see the Rocket. I'm sure we'll see Rocket again later with the BRB beacon, but not yet. Still, starting off strong here. Kanga going to be cemented on the point. Do get the KO onto FMCL, so no Wolverine going to be activated here. Ooh, looking to force the back one step. Zensari in a bit of trouble here. Holy moly, this one's heating up nice and quick.
Very quick indeed. The game barely has started, but so much damage being dealt by Kanga Esport onto Ground Zero to force them back away from this choke point. But Ground Zero are still trying to hold their ground, trying to make their way through. We have 6 on the flank, taking out Daxu. Taxi foes as well, 2 vital picks, 1 Duelist, 1 Vanguard, and now Ground Zero capitalizing on this, taking out the rest of the team in a bit of a clean fight.
Yeah, nice clean approach there, and does allow them to trickle that percentage up nice and quick. All 3 points will be locked down, and now we push into the convoy section of Convergence here. It's time to push the mission vehicle all the way through as far as they can. Speaking of as far as they can, FMCL trying to bring those flames up as far as they can right now. Really bringing out death from above, aren't they? Just bringing down hellfire on towards Kanga.
Hellfire, what a way to explain it with both Hella and Human Torch. But out comes all the abilities, all the ultimates. Meteor goes down, landed on Skittles. That is one strategist who did have the boundary available, now taken off the board for this fight in 6 with the Hella, raining so much damage onto Chronix, onto Kanga, onto all the members as Kanga Esports fall, and Ground Zero are still pushing forward.
Still pushing forward, and swords drawn, ready to go for everything they can. It's great to see the Supernovas online as well as the Goddess of Death there, so definitely can find some impact with Zenstari now having the Strangling Prison though. If they want to take down some of Kanga, this could be a good time for it, but Psionic Seduction going to be a Donald's weapon of choice in this one, trying to fight back against Ground Zero, and they do manage to get the KO on Zenstari. So 1 Vanguard taken out of the equation here does allow Kanga at least a moment's grace, force Ground Zero into a retreat.
Ground Zero, yes, they have to retreat just for a little bit. They have a lot of time on the border, 3 minutes, 40 seconds for themselves. And through ultimates, they have a lot of cards in their hand. 6 and FMCL, both with the damage from above. Here it is, Supernova going crazy, and Hell raining from above, doing as much damage as they can. Chronix is the one that falls, but then sorry, left down on the ground, falls as well. FMCL also crashing as a down to the ground onto Skittles. One more out. Great Texi trying to do as much as they can to capitalize and strangle everyone. Taking out Furikake though, and FMCL, they both fall. Donald falls too. It is a bit of a back and forth battle. Kanga Esports take control of the convoy and will be able to take down Duep and Mariev.
What a way to get it done there. Just a great wiper coming through there. Kanga holding their ground strong, and they're doing a great job to draw out the timing here, because Ground Zero only have just over 2.5 minutes to go on this one, and no ultimates at their disposal. So Kanga, the ball's in their court in this one. They've got Psionic Seduction. They can do a lot more to force Ground Zero back here, but see if they are going to be able to manage it. Texi in a bit of trouble. Psionic Seduction now online. 6 holding him at distance. Oh my word, look at that targeting. Furikake is out of there. Great job shutting down the strategist, but the Vanguard's gone down on Zenstari. So gonna have to try and keep their team alive. Chronix going to keep their team down. Look at that. Chronix just rip and tear through those duelists, through all the players on a Ground Zero, and forces them to retreat once again. They've got to have another go at this one, Rice. It's proven to be a bit tough for Ground Zero now.
It is a little bit tough. Ground Zero, they made such good progress at the beginning of this round, at this phase of the map, but they are struggling to get further, but not. Maybe here is where things turn around with Fruit. Then Starry taking out Daxu. Armed and Dangerous not going much. Armed and Dangerous at all, with being taken out immediately. Skittles, Texi, Furikake, they all fall. And Ground Zero back in control, pushing the vehicle as far as they can. 1 minute left on the clock.
That's right, mission vehicle going to be progressed one step further there. Curious to see if they can make it to the first stage with the portal, though. This could prove to be an issue. Here we go. Kanga comes rolling in, and let's see if they can do it. Got us a death online. Supernova as well. 6 and FMCL finding KOs. This is exactly what they needed to do to shut them down, trying to push through the portal, and they will be able to take down a majority, but they still have more players alive. Furakake going down, though, nullifies their healing. So, no strategists, no problem. It will be ground zero at long last, getting it over the first stage here. And now they're onwards to the first way forward, the final stretch.
Final stretch for ground zero, but their ultimates not looking too healthy. None available for themselves. Kanga Esports do have 2 available. It is Storm and Emma Frost that do have, and Storm! Out comes the Mega Hurricane! Is it going to be able to find anyone, find any damage? I think ground zero are trying to respect it, get as far away as possible, stay alive, and Kanga Esports use it to try and stall for some more time.
Let's see if they can stall it out long enough here to take some deeper control as the time is trickling down with great haste for ground zero. Speaking of great haste, though, 6 is trying to trickle down damage with great haste. Will be forced back. Strangling Prison coming out. Here we go. They're trying to see if they can manage to swing it back here, but the wall's coming up, proving to cause issue. Meteor M comes out. They don't find anything with that, but they will find KOs in abundance from the rest. They are blessed with a way forward. Furakake, last one standing, falls back to spawn to get their health back up. And this could be one final fight here, but this Strangling Prison, this could lock them down. This could actually allow them to push over the line. Oh my gosh, right here, it's online!
It is, everything is being happening. 3 ultimates from Kanga Esport. So much damage being happened as Chronix goes crazy, taking out 1 FMCL. Daxter also falls as well. And out comes the boundaries as well to keep everyone alive as best as they can. Ground zero with only 26 seconds left on the clock. 6 raining hell from above, doing as much damage, and it is a lot of damage. To ground zero pushing forward with 20 seconds in the time bank.
Oh my gosh, can you believe it? I'm so impressed with how they managed to navigate that last fight there. You know, activating the Strangling Prison right outside their spawn just to hold them in place a second longer. They were a meter off before they had to engage into that team fight, and that was just insane work coming through from ground zero there. Managing their targets so well. You could tell the communications between the team there, they were on point. They did not miss a beat. And that's what managed to get them over the line there. So Kanga, they really got to reflect and think about how they can manage to bring themselves back from this one, because now they have to have a absolutely superb attacking phase here. They can't miss a beat either. They have to extend it all the way to the end with as much time as possible to spare, because otherwise this could be a 2-0 for GZ.
It could be a 2-0 for GZ. This battle between the 2 Australian-based orgs could end with ground zero on top. Ground zero could walk away with a 3-0 record. 20 seconds on the clock. They did make it all the way to the end. Kanga have to make it all the way to the end, and with as much time as possible. It is still possible, of course. Kanga could still hold it in. And I don't know if we're getting juked again. Nope, that rocket is not staying. And maybe they just wanted a little bit of a armor benefits for themselves. Not entirely sure, but no rocket for us once again.
Yeah, that rocket just so elusive, you know. I saw that team up before, then it disappeared. They're just playing games with us, Ricey. Yeah, they're just trying to spice it up. Speaking of spicing it up, though, Portal is online. They're getting close to the point nice and quickly here. Chronix trying to hunt down Jupe there. We'll see if they can find more from it. I love how 6 is being uncontested up above as well. KO comes through on a taxi there. That's one Vanguard down. Now finding Skittles as well. Zenstari locked in. 6 goes down. Daxu on the side log gets some impact, but it's too little too late as ground zero shut the gate on that first push there, and we see percentage trickle straight back down. So unfortunate for Kanga. They're going to have to realign and try again, but Rise, that's a Venom coming out from Donald.
It is a Venom. That's exciting. bit of a more dive hero, Venom is. So maybe they're trying to get into the back line a little bit, and we can see Venom doing exactly that. Try and get as much damage, but Donald getting extremely low. I'm not sure if they'll be able to survive and get out into safety. And Skittles also gets low. Everyone is getting low. Both Vanguards from Kanga, but Daxter is the one with the flame that takes out FMCL. It is a bit of a flank dive meta with the Psylocke as well. Now, Invisible Bouncer being used by Skittles to keep Evan alive, and Six cannot see anything, being blinded. But that doesn't matter, as they are doing absolutely all they can. It is the Eternal Bond from Maddie AF to try and keep Evan alive on point, and it is working for Ground Zero. They're starting getting the pick onto Quadix. One down, only 5 more to go, but Daxter is dancing on point with butterflies flying everywhere. Maddie AF is unfortunately victim to that. Bob also falls, but it is back and forth with Six now, being hella raining in the sky. Donald falls to that ultimate. Is that going to be enough for Ground Zero's defense? But Kanga Esports is still on point with Daxter taking out 2. Skittles takes out 6. Kanga Esports finally being able to get 1 tick, looking for a second, looking for a third. But then Sorry is on point, finally taken out by Daxter. This dive composition is working for Kanga Esports. Trying to do as much as they can. Riz now takes the ultimate, but what is this? Portal! There is now a Doctor Strange portal on point as Ground Zero are trickling back and forth to try and get back into the fight. Now walking slowly as Six falls, Bob is falls. It's all about the respawns. It's all about trying to stay on point. Matty, you're gonna have to take over. I'm about to lose my breath.
Oh, that's all right. I'm certainly feeling out of breath with how intense this is. We could see more coming out from Donald here as well. The KOs work in favor, and we'll get them over the line. We can push the mission vehicle now. It's time for the convoy section of the map to see how things progress into this one. But I am most particularly keen to see the Feast of the Abyss get activated. That Venom, Donald, definitely make waves with that one. Do have a cracking impact online as well, but Furikake taken out of the mix. It could be an issue for Kanga here. One strategist down. At least they do have Skittles still available, though, to keep the heals online as long as possible. Speaking of, there we go. Invisible Boundary going to be activated. They are doing the most to try and push this card.
They are pushing this card as best as they can. Outcomes armed and dangerous. We didn't quite mention it earlier, but there was a switch onto Bucky, and now the Kraken Impact doesn't actually do much as then Starry takes them out. Ground Zero stop the vehicle here for now.
Yeah, pulled the handbrake on that one, didn't they? Not going to be able to progress further at all. We'll see if Kanga can find a way back in, though, because Six is an absolute sniper, you know, around the map, just always maintaining distance, and they haven't really found a solution for that. So curious to see if they are going to be able to catch Six off guard. We'll see if they can find their timing here. Okay. As it's Supernova online, they're trying to wipe out these attackers once again. FMCL locked into this one. Do have Goddess of Death available if they need it as well, but FMCL doing it all alone. Eternal Bond going to be online from Addy AF as well here, keeping their team healed up as much as possible. Chronix desperately trying to climb around. They do find a way in. FMCL down now. Psionic Seduction online, but the walls are blocking it off. Goddess of Death online now. Skittles is down. Look at that focus from Six there. They find the strategist, take down some of that healing capability, and they find Chronix as well. Maddie AF, what are you doing right now? Healing your team and getting KOs. You can do it all. And Ground Zero, they will rise, they will not fall. And that's another successful battle.
Another successful battle for Ground Zero. Now only 1 minute 20 on the clock. Kanga Esports have to make it past this point as well as the next checkpoint. Oh, the final checkpoint to be able to stay in this series, to be able to claim that they are the best in Group A, but it's currently looking like Ground Zero are holding down the forts. They are holding down their win streak. A lot of ultimates on the board. Duet here with and a meteor available being used now. Will they be able to land it on something? But a great ultimate from Zenstari does a lot of work for Ground Zero with Six claiming the heads of so many members of Kanga Esports. Out comes Venom's ultimate as well to try and find something, but it doesn't find anyone's life. Out comes also Mantis with all the heals to keep everyone alive. Furikake walking forward, but it's not enough as Skittles falls. So does Furikake, Donald, they all are falling. Ground Zero, 30 seconds left on the clock. They are looking so strong and so confident.
Hang on for just a while.
So confident, it's shining through right now. The Soul Resurgence from Furuikake was not enough to keep them online. Kanga, last-ditch effort, do have the invisible boundary available, but otherwise they got no ults to deal with. Ground Zero, they got the Goddess of Death. They're about to have Supernova and the Eternal Bond. I am scared for Kanga right now. Texi is now out of here as well. It's all falling apart. The invisible boundary at least nullifies some vision. Furuikake and Skittles and Six knows exactly where they are, and they will be all falling apart, one after the other there. Donald tries to keep it alive. Taxi trying to portal as well, but it's not enough. That is going to be it, everybody. The map, the series, goes to Ground Zero.
It goes to Ground Zero, and that was a phenomenal performance there, especially from Six on Hela. I don't know, I was looking from his point of view too. I could not see anything. Six, though, trusted their instincts and reigned as the Goddess of Death onto all of Kanga and somehow managed to target 4 people with that ultimate.
Just locked in, you can tell the team communication